Welcome to this Blackpool Music School video all about the Ashbury ADS-25 Dulci-Stick. This is a 4-string dulcimer, some only have 3. This has a thick D string, the one nearest your chin, the A string in the middle and a pair of octave Ds, the string nearest the floor. Not all dulcimers have this, some only have a single string on the bottom. It doesn't matter for this video, but you will need a dulcimer with this type of fret spacing. Not all dulcimers have the same frets, but for the first 5 videos I think any dulcimer will be fine. So let's get started. Due to the way the dulcimer is tuned, the chord shapes stay the same, but the names of the chords change. So when you're tuned G, D, G, this will be a G chord. But because we are tuned DAD or DAD tuning, this now becomes a D chord, delta chord. So I'm not pressing, I'm just holding the neck, I'm pressing on no frets. And as you can hear, that's a rootsier, bluesier D chord. To make it a more rounding sounding D, we place our ring finger at the 2nd fret. This is the note 1, 2, so just behind the 2nd fret. And as you can hear, it's a more rounding sounding D chord. So we've got no fingers pressing down. D. The way this instrument is tuned, you can play the D string at the 2nd fret of the string nearest your chin. So you can play that D chord. So we've got open, 2nd fret of the bottom D string, 2nd fret of the top D string. So we've got D, 2nd fret of the pair of D strings, the D string nearest your chin, and they are all delta chords. So we've got delta, delta, delta. So you don't have to play any particular one, you can mix them up. So for this one we're going to just be strumming down 1, 2, 3, 4. So the first 2 are going to be without any fingers pressed. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can do the reverse, you can do this way. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Or even 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Basically, if you're playing a D chord, a delta chord, you can play any of them you want and switch between them in the chord while you're playing the chord. The only rule is you mustn't break the rhythm hand. I'm going to over exaggerate this, but you can't do this. Big exaggerated pause. Big exaggerated pause. That must be kept at a regular rhythm. So when you're playing a D, a delta chord, you can play open D, 2nd fret of the pair of D strings, 2nd fret of the high of the D string nearest your chin, and mix them up in the same bar. All you mustn't do is break that rhythm. To play a song, you at least need 2 chords. In the key of D, we need an A chord. So the A chord is the 1st fret of both D strings, the D string nearest your chin and the pair of D strings nearest the floor. Remember, this is the note 1st fret. that is your A chord, your alpha chord. So that's the first fret of the single D string and the pair of D strings. That is your alpha chord. So now we're going to switch between the D and the A chord. So we've got the A chord there. As you know, that's the alpha chord and delta chord. When I say delta, I mean that, and when I say alpha, I mean that. So let's get started. 4 strums on delta. For this one we'll use no fingers, just an open strum. Alpha. For this I am just strumming down with a plectrum to a 1, 2, 3, 4. So delta, alpha, delta, alpha, delta, alpha, delta, alpha. Now we'll do it without leaving the gap. So it's 4 strums on delta, 4 strums on alpha. We'll take it very slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4. So again, delta, 1, 2, 3, 4, alpha, delta, alpha, delta, alpha, delta, alpha, delta, alpha, delta, alpha. And when you can do that, we'll try the delta at the 2nd fret there. So we're going from delta to alpha, delta to alpha. So after 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Delta, alpha, delta, alpha, delta, alpha, delta, alpha. So now we can change between delta and alpha. We'll try and make it a bit more musical. This time, 2 strums on delta with no fingers on, then 2 strums at delta at the 2nd fret, then 4 strums at alpha. So you've got delta, 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 alpha, delta, delta. So we're doing delta with no fingers on for 1, 2, adding that 2nd finger for 3, 4, then into the alpha for the 1, 2, 3, 4. You may have noticed I did that chord with the ring finger, so it leaves these 2 to grab the alpha chord. So again, after 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Delta, so now we can change between delta and alpha. There is something we can do on alpha to make it sound a bit more interesting, and it's this. We've got the alpha chord there, we simply slide it up to the second fret. Remember, this is the nut, 1, 2, delta, sorry, we've left delta, we've gone to alpha, and we slide up to the second fret and then back to alpha there. So we strum 1, 2 in the normal position for alpha, slide up to the second fret, 1 strum, then back to normal alpha position. So 1, 2 in the normal alpha position. Slide up 1 fret and strum on the 3, then back to the normal position for the 4. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, or normal alpha position, 1, 2, slide up for the 3, then back to normal alpha position for the 4. So if you add that to that little melody we were playing, it goes something like this. So we'll have a quick run through. It's 2 strums on delta, with no fingers on, second fret 2 strums, 2 strums on alpha, slide up for 1 strum, then back to alpha, and again, so it very slowly, it's delta, second fret, alpha, 2 strums, slide up 1, then back to alpha. Again, delta, with no fingers, delta at the second fret, alpha in normal position, 2 strums, slide up for 1 fret, then back again. And all you got to do then is keep this rhythm regular and and as you can see, it adds a little bit more sparkle to your playing. Most songs have 3 or more chords. Some have many, many chords. Some only have 2, and if you know them songs, the 2 chords I've just shown you, you can play them songs with. But we need 1 more chord to play a lot of, shall we say, 50s, 60s pop and rock songs, and that's the G chord. Now this is where you've got to watch when changing keys on a dulcimer. The G chord on my other video will be the same as the D I've just shown you. So you've got to remember that when you change tunings, the chords may stay the same shape, but the names change. So we need a G chord. That is the 1st fret of the A string. Remember, this is the note, 1st fret, and the 3rd string of the pair of D strings, the strings nearest the floor. That is your G chord. So it is the 1st fret of the middle A string and the 3rd fret of the pair of D strings, the strings nearest the floor. And that is now your G chord. That's golf chord. So let's apply them chords to the 12-bar blues. The 12-bar blues I will write in the description below. For each letter it is 4 strums down. So we're going to start off on a D chord. So we'll do this D chord just to start with. 4 strums for 4 bars. 1, 1st bar, 2nd bar, 3rd bar, 4th bar to a G chord. Back to a D chord, delta. Alpha chord for 1 bar, G chord for 1 bar, golf chord, back to delta for 2 bars. So we'll have another run through of that. Delta for 4 bars, 4 strums per bar. First, second, third, fourth into a G chord, back to a D chord, alpha chord, G chord, delta chord. So now we'll have a run through of the 12 bar blues without pausing between the chord changes. So take it very slowly after 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Golf, delta, alpha, golf, delta, and again delta, 4 bars. Golf, back to delta, alpha, golf, delta. This next bit is embellishments you can do while playing the delta chord. We've just been keeping the finger on. Similar to that fashion, yeah? What you can do is do finger lifts. You can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So in that case, I was doing 2 strums with my finger on, lifting the finger off for the 3, finger back on for the 4. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So each bar of the 12 bar blues on D will be like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. So originally we would have played the first 4 bars of the 12 bar blues like this. It's okay, it's not musically very interesting, but with the finger lifts, sounds a little bit more interesting for the listener. Now you don't have to do it where I've just said, you can do it anywhere you want. So this time we'll do it on the 2 and the 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So now you can do the 12 bar blues in a couple of ways. On the D chord you can do it straight, finger lifts, or 1 finger lift. There is really no rules. All you must do is keep that rhythm going. So I will now do a demonstration of the 12 bar blues with those finger lifts in. I will just be strumming down, we will come to strumming up later on. So again, it's down, down, lift, on. Down, down, lift, back on. Down, down, lift, back on. Down, down, lift, back on. G chord. Back to delta. And in the alpha chord, 1, 2, 3, 4, we can add that little bit in, G, then back to delta. When you want to finish a song in the key of D, after the last strum of D, you go to an A chord, an alpha chord, play once, then delta. And it just finishes it off nicely. Up to now, we have only been strumming down. So on a D chord, we've been strumming just down like that. What we're going to do is count 1, 2, 3, 4, but this time in between we're going to strum up, so it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. If you're counting that, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So if you're applying that to the 12-bar blues, each letter, printed down below, would be like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and first letter, second letter, third letter, fourth letter, change to G, another bar of G, back to delta, delta again, alpha, golf, delta. So combining all of them techniques together, you can get this sort of sound. So as you can see from 3 chords, some strumming and a few finger lifts and finger slides, you can get quite a bit out of the dulcimer in the key of D. So I hope you've enjoyed this lesson. If you have, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to Blackpool Music School for more lessons. Links to our webpage, Twitter and Facebook page is down below. Of course there'll be more videos to follow. So thank you for watching, take care and goodbye.